had the luxury of having a woman just bust all over his face and that shit drip into his beard, and then he squeezes his beard out onto his chest, and then he rubs it on his chest. He's just never had that pleasure. And it's okay. It's not for everybody.
NANI? Dynamite!
Alright, we're reloaded. Let's go. Clap it. Last part. We're here. And then we're going to go into literally research stream. Hey guys, how you doing? My name's Heero. This is Identity Booth. These are the things I forgot to tell you last week. We're going to be on vacation, so this is going to be stuff that you were supposed to hear 2 weeks ago, but it's okay. It's still somehow relevant. If there's something you feel I forgot to tell you, let me know. Let's talk about it. Oklahoma bans non-binary gender identities on birth certificates. I just be wondering, like, don't they get tired of like trying to be the bad guy, like being a bad guy or being a villain? Like, how much do you care about what someone writes on a piece of paper for it to like affect you and your day-to-day activities? Like, if someone put on their piece of paper, yo, I'm a girl. How, like, to what extent does that bother you at night? The reason why I think it's so weird is because it can't bother you. It shouldn't bother you. So like, this is forced. Like, I don't believe that this governor believes that this is somehow affecting people's lives. I just like, and the bill. Okay, let's just follow a flap last year over Oklahoma State Department of Health agreement in a civil case allowing non-binary options. The birth certificate in these cases was issued to Oklahoma-born Oregon resident who sued after agency initially refused the request. People who are non-binary do not identify with traditional male or female gender assignments. Okay, so this... Oh man, it's crazy. News of settlement prompted outrage, and the thing is, I just don't care. Where there's right or wrong, it's not enough care for it to be a governmental issue. News of the settlement prompted outrage among Republicans, including states who, along with fellow conservatives in a number of GOP-led states, have been engaged in culture wars over issues restricting LGBTQ and abortion rights. So it's just something that they enjoy doing. I don't get it. It's weird, but we just have to like deal. Like, you can't tell me that this is something that keeps you up at night because somebody wants to put non-binary on their birth certificate. If you have a father, like, if you think that this is interesting, this was a phenomenal stat I found out. If your father was born, if you think this whole binary thing, gender identity, LGBTQ thing is bullshit, I want you to understand something. If your father was born in America between the years of 1950 and 1970 in Texas, Florida, Oklahoma, Oregon, the Carolinas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas, their identification was Negro. The government should not have the right to tell you as a human being how you want to be identified. Because if they had it their way, you would still be called Negro. Dare I say, slave. So, with that ringing endorsement, let's move the fuck on. Y'all remember this girl who was rapping the other day? She was rapping to some little baby song, and she just got all the publicity in the world. Twitter cancels Brooklyn Staggs, the white woman who rapped Lil Baby's verse from Drake's Wants and Needs song, which is a great song, by the way. Love Lil Baby. After finding tweet of her using N-word. Of course. Of course she used the N word. Does she strike you as a person who doesn't use the N word? Do you think she would have been? You think she's the person who skips the N word when she's rapping a song where they say it? This thin-lipped ass chick, you don't think she'd be? Yeah, she says the N word. I knew that before I saw the video. Brooklyn Staggs has been going, like, if Ellen DeGeneres wasn't canceled, she would have already had a shoe deal by now. Going viral heavily this week, it comes after she posted a video on Instagram of her rapping Little Baby's verse, blah, blah, blah. Staggs has since been a big trending topic Twitter. Even Drake decided to follow her. So Drake is so fucking annoying. His light-skinned dumbass is so annoying sometimes because he be doing shit like this. Why you following her? Why you giving her notoriety? They ain't nobody that look like you didn't want to give notoriety to. Now she's already getting canceled. There's comes a tweet that has surfaced of using N-word a few years ago. Staggs explaining a situation of her running into a bobcat while she was driving. Fans had noticed a scar by her eye. Staggs revealed that the bobcat attacked her. There's a scar by her eye. Oh, there is a scar by her eye. Interesting. But this is also part of like reasons why you can't mind your own business. Like, she was driving. She wasn't even like jogging or anything. She was driving, saw a dead animal on the side of the road and decided to poke it. And then when that shit attacked her, she didn't say, fuck, that animal attacked me. She said, that nigga hit me. It's crazy. For those of you who didn't know what my scar is, that white girl who rapped a Little Baby said the N-word and y'all was kissing her ass. Wait, so white girl who's rapping Little Baby be here saying the N-word like she's black? It's just crazy how much notoriety she got. And I'm happy she's being canceled. It's just weird. We're so open to giving our culture away, and then we get mad when they actually take it and run with it. Rap music used to be you couldn't play rap music in these situations and settings. Now they play them in their clubs and stuff. They'll play them in their clubs and won't let you in. And y'all over here celebrating that shit. Fuck out of here. SCOTUS sympathizing with white coach fired for kneeling draws attention to Colin Kaepernick irony. So this story is actually fascinating. So there's this coach who prior to games or at the end of games, whatever, used to go to center field, take a knee, and pray. Whether it was done out loud or privately, he did it. And this is something you see a lot in football. Sometimes you'll see that when teams first run out onto the field, they'll run to the end of the end zones, take a knee, and they'll do the thing. And this is something that has been characterized. While I remember this all the time. And Coach Coleman, our coach from UAPB, used to swear up and down that his prayers were going to Listen, coaches, if you're praying before 30 seconds, if your thing is everyone's getting intense, hyped up, we're listening to gangster music, we're getting hyped, we're getting fucking raged out, we're ready to ball, and 30 seconds before we go on the field, you sit us down to say the Lord's Prayer, we're not winning that football game, okay? We're not winning that fucking football game because your goof ass want to take out all the intensity from the moment and make it about God. It's just weird. It's weird, and it was something that's super weird because it's like it's forced upon you, or you feel like you have to do it, and it's just weird because it's like not everyone there believes in God. Not everybody there is a religious person. Not everyone wants to be immediately reminded of being kind to your neighbor right before you hit them in the mouth with your football helmet. Not everyone wants to be reminded of that shit. That's just my personal opinion. But the controversy comes here is because the school actually asked him to stop doing this, and this is a public school. Because what the people and students started to notice was that more and more people started to join him in the center of the field. And it wasn't sure if students felt needed to do it or had to do it. Was it going to affect their playing status? And this is why the separation of church and state is a thing, because you don't want to assume people's religion or oppress or sound off on other people's religion. But even if you don't know the full story of this situation, how the hell does this story make it to the Supreme Court? Colin Kaepernick's story doesn't. You're probably wondering something interesting because I never told you the race of the coach. You know he's white. You know he's white. And the ability for him to take a knee and have a photo op about it, it just bears striking resemblance to what Kaepernick did. Because Kaepernick wasn't even praying. Kaepernick was just taking a knee in silent protest for random things, but most importantly for the injustice that black people continue to suffer in this country. And he was blackballed. He was ridiculed. And there's talks about him going to Raiders. Please. Can't wait to buy a jersey. Please. But you can't sit here and tell me that it's not fair. You can't sit here and tell me that they don't bear things, because it was Amy Coney Barrett who said he's just taking a knee. Even if he's not communicating to an audience, so he's completely silent. He just takes a knee. Coney Barrett said that's protected speech. It's protected speech when you're white. When you're black, when you're Colin Kaepernick, it's not protected speech. Like I said, until black people in America are truly free, this country is fucked. Man, it's we are screwed. But this story was interesting. It's going to the Supreme Court. They'll have a ruling out on this later on. But oh man, towards Kennedy, yeah, we'll keep up with this. I'm interested to see what happens. Yo, so you still have student loan debt, right? I know I still got student loan debt. And this is why I'm never going to pay my student loan debt. If there's ever a question about, like, should you or should you not pay your student loan debt, I want you to remember that we have a president who's trying to send $33 billion in aid to Ukraine, where there are no American citizens, there are no American troops. We're trying to send 33 billion American dollars of our tax-paying dollars to a place where no Americans are. And the justification is they need the humanitarian aid. There's people in our country who need the humanitarian aid. People in Flint, Michigan didn't even start getting clean water till this year. That shit happened back in 2016, 2014. If you forgave student loan debt, if you gave $33 billion towards a debt which is $1 trillion deep, you at least would be 3/10 away from completing it out. This is why I'm not paying it back, because we got money for everything else. And the student loan forgiveness would magnify black and brown people's financial escalation in the country by tenfold. And I can't sit here but wonder, why won't they give black and brown people in their own country they belong to the opportunity for wealth, but they're okay with giving it to white people across the ocean? It's kind of hard for me to even care about what's going to happen in Ukraine anymore. We learned so many negative things about it. It's just like, why is that our problem? But hey, more power to them. I'm not paying my shit back. Sleepy Joe, somebody gonna forgive that shit. This is gonna take a hard left turn. Okay. I don't even know if I want to talk about this, but there's these dudes named Fresh and Fit. They're part of the whole manosphere thing. They enjoy like bad mouthing women, and they just don't believe in being simp. They're basically, I think they're caricatures of what men really want to be or what men really want to say. But like Fit, he pays to date women. Fresh actually brought a woman he paid on the site. These are just clowns. They're just clowns, and for some reason they have a following, but I like to believe that their following is just a group of people who enjoy laughing at them, not a bunch of people who enjoy listening to them. But basically, Fit, the one who be talking in this one, says some off the wall shit. He says some shit that, he doesn't care about women orgasm. And okay, let's just hear it.
On to this work.
We gonna get this work.
Yeah, I do have a few questions, but I'm not gonna ask all of them. I do want to ask about the orgasm part. I understand your side, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I can have a man that provide for me. I'm not gonna say me. I'm not gonna put myself in the picture. Sure. But you can have a man that provides for a woman, and women have sexual.
Of course. I just want to point out this is the dude. This is the dude that they're giving top dollar, ample, like he's key prime male. He thinks he's a prime time catch. This is the guy. This is the guy that he believes he's like hot shit.
Sexual needs as well. And so when I understand your part, like, okay, let's have quickies. These quickies are for me, the man, right? But if you really don't give a fuck about the woman's pleasure, right, there's gonna be a sexual.
I'm saying it's extra credit.
It is extra credit, but it's still very important in a relationship. I know shit. I tell my man, like, if after a couple times, you can still I got blue balls, bro. Like, when's my turn?
I'm trying to make is you can still
like,
get
this is important to me too.
What I'm saying is that you could still score 100. The making her orgasm gets you a 105. It's still an A+ no matter what, but it's irrelevant. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, if you really like the girl and you care about the length of the relationship, I feel like having her orgasm as well not only is pleasing for the average man, because you unique, you don't care about that stuff, but
a lot of guys don't care about it. They just I'm just voicing their opinion.
All right, stop the cap right here. Stop the cap right here. He's an idiot, right? He's an idiot. We can all agree that he's a dumbass. He doesn't really know what he's talking about. A dude who has the balls to come out and say he doesn't care about how a woman feels during sex is a dude who's never pleased a woman during sex. It's so painfully and abundantly clear that he's never had the luxury of having a woman just bust all over his face and that shit drip into his beard, and then he squeezes his beard out onto his chest and then he rubs it on his chest. He's just never had that pleasure. And it's okay. It's not for everybody. Not everybody's been entrusted with that gift. And there's a part of me that feels like, it is a difficult thing to do, but women still value the effort. Even if you can't do it. Because there's someone who, I know me personally, I just couldn't figure out. I was like, okay. I pulled all the tricks out of my book. I'm Googling shit. I don't know. And that's okay. You got to be cool with that. And there's some dudes who are so self-conscious that if it isn't them, they can't be no one. So, like, if she can do it on her own with her own little toys, it takes away from masculinity. Hey, get it how you live. If you need the 10 minutes there, I'll come help you out. Let me do it for you. But it's about the communication, the bond, and the care that comes with it. Don't let it be the thing that don't let it ridicule your relationship, right? Don't let it ruin your relationship. He said, and he says he doesn't care, but the two other men in this room, which is Fresh and whoever the other dude is, they both throw him under the bus. Because obviously it does matter.
She got to come before I do.
Oh,
I like multiple too. Like she comes.
That's what I said.
Times, then,
Bro, that's what I said.
Myron,
yeah,
just say you come.
It make the experience better.
Yeah, if you smashing your.
So I'm in agreement. Like, it's just weird that this was the angle he wanted to take. I think this guy's video is pretty good. He talks about it. He talks really weird. I don't know. It's just I don't know, something about it just makes me feel weird. Maybe it's the way he talks, and his edits are very like jarring. But I feel like my edits used to be super jarring too, and they probably still are. But he has 15,000 subscribers, so he must be doing something right. Either way it goes, Fresh and Fit are a bunch of idiots, and that's just all I really wanted to state. And fellas, if you're out here complaining about a woman's orgasm and you've never made a woman orgasm, shut the fuck up. Okay. Mother's Day. I believe that's next month. Not next month. Mother's Day is next Sunday. Guys, don't forget. Texas high school policy banning braided or twisted hair has stopped a teen from attending school, his mom says. This is an update to a story. This track star, this is a long time story, right? Because I've covered this story about this kid. The black student says he has been penalized for his hair. Experts say even though he wore a cap. I remember this story. I talked about this story, but it's just crazy. But now that we have the Crown Act, stuff like this won't happen anymore. Nothing makes Tyree Williams feel more like himself than his hair, which is proudly worn in twist braids locks as his life. Locks all his life. What the fuck was that? Is part of his identity and direct connection to his ancestry. But Williams' locks became an issue after the 17-year-old moved from Cincinnati, Ohio to East Bernard, 50 miles outside of Houston, Texas in February. His new school dress code policy stated that braided hair or cornrows will not be allowed as policy. That is fucking crazy. Oh, what up, Jay? What up, Jay? Yeah, man, don't be out here messing up the stream. What up, Jay? Once you cut your hair off, you cut off your hairline, you cut off your line to your ancestry, you cut off your lineage, you cut off everything. Williams' mother, Desiree Bullock, said, and it's just not an option. It absolutely isn't. Like, this was reversed, and what ended up happening was, like, they had to amend their policy. It's discrimination in the highest form, right? Hair discrimination. So this is the thing we're looking at. In August 2020, a U.S. District Judge, George C. Hanks Jr., issued a preliminary injunction requiring Barbara Hill Independent School in Mount Bovine, Texas, to allow Kadion Bradford to attend school and participate in extracurricular activities without cutting his hair. And this is the right judgment to make. It's a slippery slope the moment we decide to start governing. Like, that's why this whole Roe v. Wade thing is a very slippery slope, because all it means is that when Roe v. Wade gets reversed, all it is what else do oppressive white conservative males don't like black people, like same-sex marriage, like affirmative action. Those things can be removed too, if decided by the courts. And that's why it's so important for us to have legislative laws versus these one-off decisions by the courts. And in our last story, we will cover, is that Christina? What Christina doing up in here? In the last story, and I think it's just fitting because we're talking about protecting women. We're talking about Roe v. Wade. And I think there's a group of women who need our protection more than ever these days. And of course, we're talking about the Los Angeles strippers. The dancers are on strike over poor working conditions at a popular LA strip club. And I think they deserve a little bit of notoriety. A month-long protest is underway at Star Garden Topless Dive Bar, one of the Valley's oldest 21 and up venues. Current and former dancers. So we got veteran titties out here and new titties out here. They all titties together out here supporting each other in great working conditions. As their supporters are picking the North Hollywood business, alleging the owner and security staff have fostered an environment of harassment and have been lax regarding workers' safety and cleanliness. The walkout is ongoing and even the Star Garden remains open for business. That's tough right there. And you know what? They got a video up. But sex work and stuff like that is one of the oldest forms, probably the first version of transaction. You give me a little cat, I give you a little back. You feel me? The oldest form of business transaction needs to be protected. But these are strippers. These aren't like prostitutes. So it's crazy to me that like their working conditions and safety. And I've read this story in the forefront, and basically these were complaints coming from people who were being aggressive with women, who were touching on women, not getting, and as a person who worked in the bar, when you touch one of the coworkers, you out automatically. So the fact that the strippers and the security weren't coming to their defense is really like, it's like, come on, like, just they literally make all the money for you. The strippers are what bring them there. You can drink alcohol anywhere. It's very rare that you can drink alcohol and look at some titties at the same damn time. So you would think that they would want to protect them. It is good to know that they have been gaining ground, and the strike environment has been garnering like a lot of support in the past, and I'm happy to see it because I think it needs to be brought up to speed. The unionizations that are happening at Amazon, Starbucks, and places like this, it's only going to lead to more unions popping up, and I support it. Like, I'm a person who works in a career where I don't need a union. Like, when I leave my job, I always get a severance package, and I have the ability to support myself. But these people are vulnerable to the scumbags of the universe, and we have to protect them whenever we have an opportunity. But either way it goes, that's the end of the show for us, party people. That puts us kindly at 1 hour and 25 minutes, and I have to say I'm thoroughly impressed with my skill set right here. You feel me? I am thoroughly impressed with that skill set. I appreciate everybody that came through. Shout out to everybody on IG. Y'all some punk asses for not coming to Twitch or YouTube, but I'll forgive you. I'll continue to do this random stuff. But to the people I do love up here, Twitch, IG, Facebook, Twitter, Real Life Visa, we're everywhere. We can literally be found on all major platforms.